We, the disinherited of this land, we who have been oppressed so long, are tired of going through the long night of captivity. And now we are reaching out for the daybreak of freedom and justice and equality. The only weapon that we have in our hands this evening is the weapon of protest. That's all.
I want to say good morning, happy King holiday, and welcome to the 38th annual Dr. King Jr. Commemorative Breakfast and Awards Ceremony. My name is Kamed Hatep. I'm the Executive Director here at the Bear YMCA. So it's been 2 years since we gathered in person to sit down, rub shoulders and laugh, break bread together, and honor a number of servant leaders in our community. We are so grateful you chose to kick off your MLK celebration here at the Bear YMCA with us this morning. We really appreciate that. We know you got other activities that's going on throughout the city, so we are going to try to be efficient as possible. The purpose of this breakfast is to honor and celebrate the work and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in addition to bring people in the community together. So you see a lot of people talking and conversating. These are the opportunities that we have to come together as a community. And also to nurture individual potential, especially our youth. So you see some wonderful performances from youth that we partner with throughout the city, and award exceptional leaders in our community. So that's the purpose of why we gather today. This holiday is such a great reminder of how Dr. King's life and work is a part of our everyday mission, especially here what we do at the YMCA. Our cause is to strengthen communities, is to be a servant leaders and a service to the community, and we do that in the spirit of Dr. Martin Luther King every day. So we may not have gathered in 2 years here, but we had this celebration online. And even though we didn't gather throughout the last 2 years, the Gateway Region YMCA has continued to do the work. If you go to our website, you will see all of the lovely things that we did during the pandemic that we continue to do throughout on an everyday basis. King's words and actions continue to be an inspiration to us all every day. In honor of his great work of Dr. King and a reflection of his service, we are recognizing 3 prestigious awardees who exemplify excellence and represent the work of Dr. King in today's world. We recognize them with 3 distinct awards. One is the Martin Luther King Jr. Human Dignity Award. The other one is the Tribute Award, and then the Strong Community Award. So we'll issue those awards out today. We are blessed and honored to have Ms. Jean Collier, President of the BJC Hospitals in St. Charles County, Missouri, as our keynote speaker for our program this morning. Appreciate you being here. We also have some wonderful presentations, as I stated before, for your enjoyment and your edutainment. In unity with the King Center, the theme for the Bear YMCA breakfast this morning is it starts with me and it starts with you. Cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. Let me repeat that. It starts with me and it starts with each and every one of you to cultivate a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. So I hope you enjoy the program and enjoy your day of service, and welcome and happy MLK Day to you all. Thank you. We also, now we do our invocation with Pastor Dick.
Good morning. And praise the Lord. Amen, amen. If you would bow your heads as we approach the throne of grace. Oh, Heavenly Father, first and foremost, God, we want to thank you, God, how we've been affected from your grace and your mercy by allowing us to be in a day that you did not promise on yesterday, God. Those of us with our health and strength, Father. We ask you to come in the midst of this situation right now, God, as we honor a man that you ordained and gifted to be the champion of people, God, an advocate of rights, God. We ask that the provisions that have been provided for us be nourishing for our bodies, God. We also ask that your spirit flow from breast to breast, God, that we all become on one accord, God, and that you admit a love and peace for one another, God. These and other petitions and blessings we ask from you in the name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen.
Her major responsibility is leading new business acquisitions within the Pepsi Beverages North America with direct ownership across all beverage lines of business to drive volume, share, and profit. Tiffany is also the owner of Tiffany LLC, a knowledge-based service provider offering professional business solutions to clients of various sectors that are inclusive of management, consulting, networking, advertising, collaboration, event planning, and more. Tiffany Inc. boasts management of the Danger Zone band STL and their development into what has become a well-known brand in the St. Louis metropolitan region. I want to do more and successfully make a difference are words that Tiffany lives by. And as a result, she was driven to serve on the board of directors for Habitat for Humanity St. Louis. And if that's not enough, the word more is emphasized as she also serves on the St. Louis Diversity and Inclusion Consortium, supporting diversity and inclusion resources and initiatives. She's the National Volunteer Coordinator for the PepsiCo Foundation and an active member of the PepsiCo Women of Color Employee Resource Group. PepsiCo strives to have a positive impact on the communities they serve and recognizes its team members who embody that very sentiment with the hashtag Winning Ways. Tiffany received the hashtag Winning Ways recognition for catalyzing positive change in her community by leveraging the size and scale of PepsiCo with community impact measures. A proud moment for Tiffany was being recognized by the PepsiCo Beverages North America CEO Kirk Tanner for making an impact in her community. And Tiffany's clients from Tiffany Inc. LLC have only good things to say about her. When reading her reviews, she's described as an inspiring hard worker, resourceful, organized, focused, timely, dependable, and consistent, and has the capacity to operate at a very high level while always adding a personal touch. Our co-MC for the 38th annual Martin Luther King Jr. celebration is the amazing Richard B. Marks Jr. Richard B. Marks Jr., Doctor of Education, is the Assistant Vice President for Diversity and Innovation Community Engagement, also known as DICE, at St. Louis University. He is a graduate of Indiana University, Bloomington, Indiana, with a bachelor's in African American Studies, Sociology, and a master's in Higher Education Administration and Student Affairs. He earned his doctorate in Educational Leadership from the Rossier School of Education at the University of Southern California. Marks has worked in higher education for over 20 years. He has expertise in areas of housing and residence life, student activities, Development Officer for RBM Diversity Consulting, LLC, where he has facilitated and presented on many topics, which include, but are not limited to, race, gender, LGBTQ, toxic masculinity, gender roles and expression, Greek life and leadership, diversity training, team building and leadership, intersectionality and identity, and hiring practices around diversity and inclusion. Marks is the past chair of the Pan-African Network in the Association of College Personnel Association, a member of 100 Black Men of Metropolitan St. Louis, a founding member of the St. Louis Regional Consortium of Higher Education Initiatives supporting Black male success, the incoming chair of the advisory board of the Fair YMCA, the past vice president and charter member of the National Hellenic Council of Orange County, California, and a lifetime member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity. Please give a warm welcome to our Emcees for the 2023 MLK Breakfast and Award Ceremony. Tiffany Parker and Mary Blanchard.
Good morning, and thank you, Ms. Jeannie, for that introduction. Today, before we celebrate the great work of the awardees, let's welcome Mr. Vernell Whiteley. Vernell serves as the Minister of Music at the Life Center International Church of God in Christ here in St. Louis, Missouri. Vernell also is the Youth Minister and Vice President of the Men's Department under the leadership of Bishop Elijah Hankerson III. Vernell is the proud husband of Jonetta Warlick. Vernell released an album last year. Make sure to see Vernell and get his album, because I can promise you will hear it while we say that in just a second. Please enjoy the soulful sounds as he sings while you stand for the Black National Anthem. Lift every voice and sing.
leader James Weldon Johnson in 1900. His brother, John Reservoir Johnson, composed the music for the lyrics. At the turn of the century, the 20th century, Johnson's lyrics eloquently captured the solemn yet hopeful appeal to the liberty of Black Americans. Set against the religious invocation of God and the promise of freedom, the song was later adopted by the NAACP, prominently used as a rally cry during the civil rights movement for the 1950s and 60s. In the tradition of leaders and great contribution to the community, I would like to invite Philip Hatton and Courtney Brown to the podium to remember one of the greatest community leaders in St. Louis has known.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Philip Hatton, and I'm the Associate Executive Director at the South City Family YMCA.
And my name is Courtney Brown, and I'm the Membership Director at the Old Fountain Park Rec Complex YMCA.
As we honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy today, we also want to take the time to remember a friend, a brother to me, and a mentor in the work that he did, not only at this YMCA and the Old Fountain Park YMCA, but the St. Louis region as a whole. Rob, much like Dr. Martin Luther King, walked in those steps of trying to provide opportunities for all people, not just ones that look like myself and him, but for all. His work around equity and especially providing youth with opportunities, that they might not have ever had the chance to see, is something that he was passionate about, and through that is where we developed our body. We love Rob for all that he was for the body and just for humanity as a whole. Donovan, Rob, your father may be gone, he will never be forgotten. We love you, Rob.
I don't know how I can follow that really well, but as Wes would say, regardless of the circumstance, I'm outstanding. And so today, I choose to be outstanding. And I just want to share a quick story. My dad taught me how to ride a bike. You know, I'd get on the bike, I want to ride down the hill, I didn't know what I was doing. He would try to steer me this way or try to steer me this way or let go, and he thought that I had all the tools that I needed to ride a bike. But I didn't think I did. Much like Wes, he gave me all the tools that I needed, even when I didn't think I had them. Even when I doubted myself, he always provided those tools for me. He always wanted to see people at their full potential. Everybody. Everybody was a friend to Wes. And I hope, at the end of my life, I can say that I used every talent that he taught me. So, Old Fountain Park, we are
Before we move forward, we would like to honor and recognize all of our elected officials that are joining us this morning. If you are an elected official, would you please stand at this time? Service to our community. Thank you. We are here today to honor and celebrate the life and teachings of a minister, civil rights leader, organizer, visionary, and activist. Just like Dr. King, our first award recipient is also a visionary, an activist, and an organizer for the people. Ohan Ashe, activist, organizer, and founder of For the Culture, STL.com. Ohan Ashe's career started in multimedia production, but her passion for activism took over in 2014 after the tragic killing of Mike Brown. Documenting the protests occurring in Ferguson inspired Ohan to begin grassroots organizing, public speaking, and advocating for the Black community. In 2017, she teamed up with other St. Louis activists and began organizing the name Expect Us, a protest group focused on justice for the Black community. In 2018, Ohan launched the website fortheculturestl.com, a resource and directory of Black-owned businesses in the St. Louis area. Since then, the For the Culture STL brand has become a powerhouse for Black economic empowerment, international visibility for Black entrepreneurship, and an outlet for Black businesses all over the world. For the Culture STL further expanded its mission in 2020 to include implementing events focused on healing for Black communities through mental and or physical wellness, equity for Black businesses, and community engagement. Ohan believes that Black folks deserve to be fought for, sacrificed for, and valued. We should be doing everything in our power to uplift our communities, end quote. As you can see, Ohan Ashe is continuing the legacy and work of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is an example of how we cultivate a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. At this time, would you please stand and welcome to the stage our first 2023 Strong Community Award recipient, Ohan Ashe.
Good morning. Good morning. Whenever righteous folks, advocates and activists, liberators and teachers, leaders gather in a room, I call it church. And during church, I always want to invite our ancestors, spiritual guiders, and the Most High into the room. So if you will, please take a moment of silence with me as we invite the spirits of our ancestors so they may guide us, empower us, and so that we may honor them. Thank you. For many of us, Martin Luther King Jr. was our first introduction to the civil rights movement, our first understanding of protest and activism, and our first connection to just how brutal this society can be. For me, Martin Luther King Jr. was my first lesson of what unconditional love for community can look like. He showed me, us, the power of what love for the people can do
what it can build, what it can pull out of you, but most importantly, what it can empower. This year marks the 60th anniversary of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, and the 160th anniversary to the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. 160 years ago, Black folks were supposed to be free, liberated from the shackles of enslavement, but we know that that was not the reality that they faced, so they had to fight. And 100 years later, Martin Luther King delivered a speech calling out inequity, economic injustice, poverty, and mistreatment that Black folks face. They still had to fight. Unfortunately, this is a fight still of today. And economic injustice is just one of the reasons that I founded For the Culture STL. And if you have never heard of For the Culture STL, first you can go to fortheculturestl.com to learn more. And simply put, we are just fierce lovers of the Black community and our things, and we do work to uplift our people, our businesses, our freedom, our justice, simply because we deserve it. I am so honored to be receiving the 2023 YMCA Martin Luther King Jr. Strong Community Award. Community truly means everything to me. And before I leave you all, I want to remind us that Martin Luther King was not the only one with a dream. We all have them. That thing that we are passionate about, that thing that keeps us up at night, the change we want to make it, do it, build it, be it. We need it. The community needs it. I'm rooting for you, I see you, and I love you. Thank you, Mayor YMCA, for honoring me and the For the Culture STL community today. Thank you to my team, my friends, my love, to our volunteers and our supporters. And I want to give a special thank you to my mother, a teacher, an educator, and a woman who still instilled everything to me of a strong platform. I love you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get back one more time for our strong community award recipient,
Congratulations again on Michelle for receiving the 2023 Strong Community Award. The Mayor YMCA continues the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by fulfilling our cause to strengthen the families in the community. And one of the ways that we strengthen families in the community is by focusing on our area of youth and our youth development. Being intentional about the development of our youth, we partner with the schools, in our service areas, and multiple youth development activities. One of the schools is the legendary Sumner High School. Now, due to the generous sponsorship from the Mayor Corporation, this year, senior students from Sumner were able to participate in the Mayor YMCA Martin Luther King Jr.'s writing contest. A $2,000 scholarship will be awarded today to the essay winner's post-secondary educational institution of choice. The scholarship will be sent directly to the institution on behalf of the recipients. And students who participated were asked to write an essay explaining why Martin Luther King Jr.'s message about the solution to poverty is vital to Americans today. We would like to thank Sumner ELA Department and their principal, Dr. Sean Nichols, for collaborating with us to provide more opportunities to help develop youth in our community. We would also like to thank our essay judge team, which included Caroline Mitchell, Laura Little, Anita Carmen, Lydia Bullock, and Michelle Peter. Thank you for all your volunteering, your time, and your expertise. Now, without further ado, are they here? Okay. Now, without further ado, I would like to present to you the winner of the 2023 Mayor YMCA Martin Luther King Jr.'s Writing Contest, Mr. Solomon Shelton.
So we put Solomon in a time warp, and he has exponentially increased his age really quick. This is my friend, my partner for a long time, Dr. Nichols. He's the principal at Sumner High School, and I give him a round of applause. Present this $2,000 scholarship to Solomon and his principal, and so graciously going to accept the award for this, and so but Solomon will be here. So.
Thank you. On behalf of the Solomon family, I just spoke to the father, so hopefully he is in the background. Solomon is in the choir as well, so hopefully we get a chance to see Solomon. He's a high school senior, ready to go to college, and he's a very, very phenomenal young man.
Just talking to everyone that was on the panel for judging, it was hard. So all of the percentages, they were high, very percentages. So, the second and third place, it was hard. So it was just percentage difference. So what you guys are doing over the summer is amazing with the students, and we look forward to continue to work with you guys on youth development, job readiness, and all of you do better. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you, Solomon, when you arrived, and thank you, Dr. Nichols. Congratulations again to Mr. Solomon Shelton. As we continue to support the development of youth in our community, you are now in for a very special treat. If you haven't heard the buzz in the news and throughout the metro area about this amazing high school choir, you're about to experience why that buzz is spreading like wildfire. We are so honored and blessed to be able to witness the amazing sounds of the Sumner High School Choir.
Good morning. How are we doing today? Happy Martin Luther King Day to you. My name is Mr. Smith. I'm the Director of Arts and Special Programs at Sumner High School. Yes. The first black high school west of Mississippi. Established in 1875. Got chairs. Do I have any bulldogs out there? There's always a bulldog present. There's always a bulldog present. So today, we're going to give you a taste of our arts. At Sumner High School now, you don't know that we're back on the rise, we're back on the moves. We have an arts program that has drama, fashion, photography, visual arts, choral, you get a taste today, dance, and one of our newest museum studies, we are teaching our kids how to capture history. So Sumner, the spirit of Sumner will live on, and we shall carry on. So allow our choir to give a little taste of the choral program, and then I'll have one of our other young students give a little taste of our drama program, and then I'll end with a couple of words for you. Give them your attention. Thank you so much. and the choir is under the direction of Mr. Ben Chandler. Mr. Ben Chandler. Next, we will have one of our distinguished, outstanding seniors who's going to come up representing from our drama. We have Mr. Stefan Riggins, who will be doing a spoken word piece for you. Mr. Stefan Riggins.
Hello, everyone. Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Day. From Sumner High School, first black high school west of the Mississippi. One of our pillars was a man by the name of Kenneth Brown Billups. Is anybody in the crowd familiar with that name? Well, Mr. Billups carried the same message and purpose as Dr. King. And from King to Billups, I present this to you. They say legends never die, but are only reborn through the souls of others who carry the torch. The light of the world, the salt of the earth. Through their deaths, there is rebirth. Mr. Billups. It was April 15, 1918, the musical Messiah arrived onto the scene. The second son of the late Reverend Louis Billups, the legend comes, the name Kenneth, they soon remember. New adventures, grew up in the field, wasn't influenced by the system. A middle-class family praying for higher income and then some. Didn't have a lot of tools, so I either go to school or be a victim. In St. Louis, my elementary, John Marshall, I declared then that my work would never be partial. At Sumner, they could see I was a sparkle. They believed in my greatness. All the teachers, they were marvel. I thought it would be fun being part of the Glee Club. We sung, get performed plays, directed each one. Before a senior, they looked at me as a leader. Once a student that would travel one day and come back to teach us. A small child with big dreams, intrigued. If we talk in education, I graduated at 15. Through the one to express the excellence in me, I packed my bags and then I left the Jefferson City. Still stand fast on the ultimatum. I went to college and biology was my major. God was in my favor. Feel like my bed was made up for me and my life was tailored, glorifying my nature. Give and take. It was like my third year at Lincoln. It was obvious to me that I was the musical genius. All these beautiful pieces that I created. All the faces delighted and plenty praises from forming organizations. So amazing, I did core training at various schools. And many occasions we performed on the news. Even hosted my own show, God's Musical World. See my influence then became Times newest referral. Past all the physical restraints, I still bet against the odds and one critical acclaim. When I conducted at Sumner, that was pivotal for change. And my love for y'all brought me to the pinnacle of fame. The principal was Jay, John D. Buckner. The choir structure back then did signs and wonders and truly embodied Sumner. Many voices, but we did a cappella. Every day we strive for better. Birds of the same feather, we flock together. I'll be alive forever. I can see it through my eyes and records. From ambition, artist talent, young and gifted. One man did it, and this is the story of his life. In 1985, he was conducting when he died. Mr. Billups. You see, he walked with his presence so you can feel him. And I can never forget him. As long as you hear the rhythm, they don't remember the wisdom inside of the lyrics. Hopefully painted pictures for generations to come. Educating the young, elevating the slums, brought better ways to grow up. In the test of time, someone to demonstrate is a must. This the Renaissance. Now who gonna step to the plate? Us, Mr. Billups.
Thank you. I just want to end with saying, you all are gifted with voice, so you can go out and tell your story. Let it echo far and wide. Make them hear you. How justice was our battle, how justice was denied. Make them hear you. And say to those who blame us for the way we chose to fight that sometimes there are battles that are more than black or white. Listen, your sword can be a sermon or the power of a pen. If we teach every child to raise their voice, and then, my brothers, then will justice be demanded by 10 million righteous men, changing the pipeline from prison to performance on and off stage. That's my mission. Mr. Smith, thank you.
Wow. Give it up again for Sumner High School. Now, when it comes to organizations that are on the front line of cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems, the Gateway YMCA is leading that. As the non-profit winner of the 2022 Champions for Diversity and Inclusion Award, the Gateway Region YMCA is led by leaders who continue the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. At this time, we would like to recognize the senior leadership and district vice presidents of the Gateway Regional YMCA. In the senior leadership and the DVPs of the Gateway Region YMCA, could you all please stand and be acknowledged? Let's give them a warm and hand clap. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King always emphasized the importance of reading and education. He talked about being judged by the content of the mind, not by the color of your skin. And in addition, Dr. King stated, the time has come for us to civilize ourselves by the total, direct, and immediate abolition of power. Our next award recipient and the organization she represents to take both of Dr. King's statements and put them into action daily. Lauren Campbell and Ready Readers understands the literacy lifts lives out of poverty. And by reading to children early and often, we can better prepare them for the success in school and in life. Ready Readers expands literacy for young children in low-income communities through high-quality books, strong relationships, and literacy-related experiences. Last year, they celebrated 2 milestones, our 25th anniversary and the distribution of the 1 millionth book. Now, Red Readers achieved this milestone thanks to amazing volunteers, supporters, and community partners. Each year, their volunteers provide weekly story time to 200+ classrooms, distribute 60,000+ new diverse books to children and teachers in those classrooms. Let's do it, yes, and clap for it. And they bring their support to the sites and the teachers we serve. We know that every child deserves access to literacy that sparks their imaginations while building early literacy skills to prepare them for kindergarten and beyond. On the front line for Ready Readers is Lauren Campbell. Lauren has joined Ready Readers' team as a community programming coordinator just 6 months ago after spending 7 years as a middle school administrator and educator. Lauren's passion for serving my community or the community leads her to focus on ensuring equal access to resources and opportunities for underserved and marginalized communities. Lauren's time at Ready Readers is spent connecting with current and new community partners in homes and in child care providers. Lauren's goal is to share the power of legacy directly with children and their families by connecting them to essential resources in their communities. Much of our current work involves starting their new neighborhood reading captains program, launching soon in the West End neighborhood. Lauren's hope is to continue connecting families with their communities, ensuring a lifelong path of literacy, learning, and success. stand and welcome to the stage the 2023 YMCA Martin Luther King Tribute Award recipient Lauren Campbell for
Thank you, everyone. So I'm extremely humbled by being asked to receive this award on behalf of radio readers. We just want to thank Mayor YMCA, our amazing volunteers. We could not do this work without them, and then just the St. Louis community for supporting us and being with us. So my passion has always been in equity, advocacy, and just making sure that marginalized and underserved communities have access to basic human rights. Literacy is one of those basic human rights. We feel that when kids don't have access to literacy, it literally changes the trajectory of their life. There are statistics that show that students who don't read proficiently by the end of third grade are 4 times more likely to leave high school without a diploma than those proficient readers. This number is even higher for Black and brown kids. So again, we just recognize that literacy is extremely important for the trajectory of the kids in our community. So along with radio readers, we just want to simply continue to do the work that provides high quality books by diverse authors with diverse characters, provide resources to the community, and continue to provide those story times to children who may not otherwise have that opportunity. We want to continue to expand literacy because we do believe that it is a gateway to equity. So thank you again to the Beta YMCA. Thank you to all of you for being here. Thank you.
Okay. Again, thank you, Ms. Laura Campbell. We appreciate the work that you and radio readers do for the community. Certainly well deserved. Congratulations again. Let's give another round of applause. As you know, or as you may not know, Radio Readers is one of our partners here at the Bayer YMCA. Through our youth development programs in our Teen Tech Center and Early Childhood Education Center, we offer a variety of literacy and learning programming. If you would like to support a child in one of our literacy and learning programs, you can simply scan the QR code that's located on the center of your table. It's very easy. Just pick up your phone and you can scan the QR code if you want to donate. You might not want to do it right now, you can do it later, but there is a QR code on your table if you would like to donate. All right, as we move along, Dr. King is quoted as saying, "Of all forms of discrimination and inequalities, injustice in health is the most shocking and inhumane." We are honored to receive our keynote address from a powerhouse leader on the front line for diversity, equality, justice, and inclusion for all in healthcare and the community. Gina Calder has led BJC Healthcare's 2 St. Charles County hospitals, Boris Jewish St. Peter's Hospital, and Progress West Hospital, since being named president in February of 2021. Before joining BJC, Ms. Calder held various executive roles at Bridgeport Hospital, a member of Yale New Haven Health, serving most recently as administrator and vice president. With Calder's leadership, both hospitals have received numerous patient quality, safety, and experience recognitions, including from Professional Research Corporation, U.S. News, and World Report, and Business. Barnes Jr. St. Peter's is also an American College of Radiology accredited Breast Imaging Center of Excellence, and Progress West is also a Cribs for Kids, nationally certified safe sleep hospital. During her time with BJC, Ms. Calder has been named a champion for diversity and inclusion by the St. Louis Business Journal, named among Becker's Hospital Review's 75 Black Healthcare Leaders to Know in 2022, and received the 2022 PRC Healthcare Leadership Impact Award for her commitment to collaboration, service, and innovation, as well as the Distinguished Service Award from the American College of Healthcare Executives. Calder is a recognized leader in advancing diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, and has given numerous national presentations and academic lectures on this topic. She is an active member of Greater Grace Church in Ferguson. She also serves on both the St. Charles Community College Foundation and Missouri Hospital Association Management Services Corporation's Boards of Directors. Calder holds her master's degree in Business Administration, a master's degree in Public Health, Health Policy and Administration, and a bachelor's degree in Psychology, all from Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut. Let's welcome to the stage Ms. Gina Calder.
Our Sumner High School students, thank you all for sharing your talent and inspiring people for our future. So thank you to you all. I also want to thank all of our awardees today and congratulate you for just the amazing work that you continue to do. Thank you for your unwavering commitment to our community. Many thanks to the Bayer YMCA and our Gateway Region YMCA teams, especially Colette. I don't know if Renee is here today, but she made the connection. So grateful to you all for having me here, and also just to continue this legacy of celebration of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and recognizing that the legacy that he has left us is a legacy that we now, right, have to carry forward and continue. I deeply appreciate my Greater Grace Church family who is here, my BJC family who is here to support me today. But I'm most of all grateful to God for a young gentleman over there, my dad, who is here to support me today. All the way from New Jersey, by way of Jamaica. So Dad, I love you. Thank you. So speaking of legacy, my dad is an immigrant from Jamaica, and I can remember from a very, very young age, he would declare over us that poverty stops with him. And I was too young to even truly understand what he was talking about. I didn't even know what poverty meant. But the way in which he declared it, the power with which he said those words, I had to hold on to it. And it literally began to germinate on the inside of me. And
So while I'm truly blessed, privileged, honored to be in this space, in this place that God has placed me, I also recognize and I embrace the responsibility that I have to make sure that in a state that is made up of 22% of people of color, that I can no longer be the only. I definitely can't be the last. So I invite you all, I know I'm in good company here in this room, I invite you all to be part of the mission that I am on to make sure that as we're talking about driving equity in health, that we're driving diversity in the leadership, making the decisions about how health and healthcare are delivered, promoted, and enhanced in our communities. So I am extraordinarily excited about our theme today. Our theme that was really set by the King Center that says it starts with me, right? Cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. Why am I excited? Because I'm an activator, if you couldn't already tell. Many years ago, I was asked to create a legacy statement for myself, young in my career. And that was a powerful exercise because basically what I was being asked to do was to develop a statement that would describe the life's impact that I would have. Right now, this is years ago. I don't know what's ahead of me, and I don't necessarily know the imprint that I'm going to have. But this is why declaration is so powerful. So my legacy statement read, and I'm going to invite all of our Sumner High School and any other students who are in the room, do this exercise. Write out your legacy statement. I engage, empower, and elevate others to drive transformation. That's who I am. That's what I do. When I have a decision to make, when I have options around how I'm going to spend my time, it has to fit, right? Into making sure that that legacy statement, that declaration comes true. So it means I'm about building communities. I'm about bringing change for and by communities. I'm about strengthening communities. I'm about bringing about a shift, not only within the community, but beyond the community. It starts with me. Cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. So how do we make this more than just a theme? How do we make this powerful declaration become action? How do we make that action become radical transformation? Many of you may know, many of you may not. Dr. King's beloved community is a global vision in which all people can share in the wealth here on this earth. In the beloved community, poverty, homelessness, hunger are not tolerated because we decide that we're going to set international standards of decency that won't allow people to live and to suffer in those kinds of states. Racism, all forms of discrimination, bigotry, prejudice have to be replaced by an all-inclusive spirit of sisterhood and brotherhood. Now, Dr. King envisioned this beloved community as a society based on justice, equal opportunity, and love of one's fellow human beings. So we are here today to go beyond just the vision and the dream, but to make this a reality. I remember as a very young girl learning in elementary school about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., learning about his life, learning about his legacy. And I went home that night and cried and cried and cried. And I had the kind of mother who, whether she could hear me or not, she could feel, right? Something was amiss with one of her children. And I remember she came into the room and she sat down on the bed and, put her arms around me, what's wrong? And I said, they killed Dr. King. I was so upset. And she she consoled me, and she reassured me, and she said, well, guess what? His dream, his declaration is not dead. And so now you have the opportunity, you have the responsibility to take up that work, to take up that mantle. And it starts with me. So I must be loved. In order to have a beloved community mindset, I must be loved. Love is an action word, right? Love doesn't lie around dormant. Love demonstrates. You know that you're loved because of how someone is demonstrating to you that you matter, that you're important. Love drives and love compels. While it turns the other cheek, love never turns a blind eye to injustice. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 13:6, love does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. So love is incessant. It's always pursuing right. It's always pursuing light. It's always pursuing truth to be made manifest. Love is part of the threefold cord of love, power, and justice. And that cord is not quickly broken. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice, and justice at its best is power correcting everything that stands against love. So we now know inaction is not one of our options, right? The beloved community mindset is an action mindset. We're taking action to ensure equity. But I have to ask myself, what mindset am I embracing? Is my mindset beguiled or beloved? For far too long, many of us have been deceived to believe that structures, power dynamics that are in place will be in place. It just is what it is. That's the way it's always been. Or we think someone else is coming to the rescue. And so we're waiting to see if they fix it. But the beloved mindset says, the change has to start with me. I have to believe the change can happen, and I know the change starts with me. Is my mindset beneath or beloved? For far too long, many of us have suffered from being put away, pushed back, kept down, or even worse, we might be inflicting that pain and oppression on other people. The beloved mindset recognizes that no one is small. Everyone is significant. Everyone is valuable. Everyone is needed to build and sustain a thriving community. And indeed, it starts with me. I have to embrace my own responsibility, my own power, my own purpose to make change. According to the King Center, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s leadership achieved more genuine progress toward racial equity than anything that had been accomplished in the 350 years prior to his leadership. So we're here now, almost some 60 years later, and I have to ask myself, what will my legacy be? What will my impact be? How am I making sure that this world is a better place because I was here once in it? So once I recognize that it starts with me, and
And each of us in this room recognizes individually that it starts with us. Well, with me plus you, let's act in unity now. Let's act in unity. When we all embrace the beloved community mindset, we can come together, we can act in unity, we can act in alignment, we can be on one accord, and we can make things happen. We can make things change. So the YMCA, in and of itself, is a shining example of that, right? And I'm a firm believer that you have to understand and embrace your history, because then knowing that legacy motivates you to continue to press forward. So we're going to do a little history lesson. So the historical mission of the Y was to create a supportive community to help young men address pressing social challenges as long as you know Black. So Black men are excluded immediately, right, from this mission. And instead of being put out or feeling shut down, they said, that's fine, we'll mobilize, and we'll begin our own work. And so in the 1850s, despite slavery, despite segregation, Black Ys were opening all around the country. And we know that right here in St. Louis, one of our very first YMCAs was beginning to organize in 1877. That would soon become the Pine Street Y. So going from 11th and Green to Morgan Street and Lucas Street to Lawton Avenue, the Afro-American Young Men's Christian Home Association grew in determination and success. They enlisted the support of the faith community, of businesses, of benefactors, of many others, and they became strong enough and financially stable that the YMCA had to recognize them and extended an invitation for them to join the St. Louis YMCA as an official branch in 1912. Soon after, they raised $100,000 to be able to build the Pine Street YMCA. In today's dollars, that's equivalent to $2.3 million. And all of this during World War I, during the flu pandemic. They opened in 1919. Now, I can only imagine what it was like to be dealing with war, a pandemic. It had to have been crazy. We don't know nothing about that, right? But regardless of how crazy it was, they were steadfast in the work that they were doing. They were committed in the mission that they were serving. And God had to have helped them to sustain the commitment through it all. And as a matter of fact, the team was so unified and dedicated that they began serving before the building was built. So history has it that as Black soldiers were coming through the St. Louis region and serving in World War I, they were staying in the unfinished building and being fed by that Pine Street team. Amazing, amazing. The Pine Street Y would go on to serve as a social center for the community, a place to gather for political meetings, and also a place that provided hotel accommodations for Black performers. They were able to perform in white venues, but could not sleep in white hotels. And so the Y served with great hospitality and made sure that they were comfortable while they were in town. With the addition of Camp Rivercliff in 1921, the mission broadened and deepened as youth services expanded with the leadership of none other than the Reverend James T. Cook. And while desegregation was dissolving other Black Ys around the country, Pine Street grew to Page Park, strong in its resolve to impact the community. Page Park became a national model for the Head Start program and began to ensure the offering of early education to some of our most vulnerable children.
After merging the City North YMCA, many of you know C.D. Banks and his tireless efforts to reach up and lift up young people. And after helping over 100,000 young people, he was recognized with the 1979 American Institute Jefferson Award for greater public service benefiting local communities. This was a national award. He was honored for the highest achievements in public service in the United States. Later, the Monsanto family YMCA enabled to focus on meeting the community's growing needs, including health, and launched this wonderful gathering, where we were able to come together every year in the honor and the ability to celebrate the life, the legacy, the impact of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And not only to celebrate his impact, but to celebrate the impact of all of those who have taken up his mantle. So as we shifted to the Bayer YMCA, Al Mitchell of Bayer declared, "Today, the Bayer Y continues this awesome legacy and work of being a beacon and a refuge for the community." I want to commend the Bayer Y in recognizing the challenges that our society is facing and not shying away, not backing down, but instead engaging all of us and many others as allies so that they can continue to be positioned to do the work. To support our communities, make sure we're able to overcome challenges far, far, far into the future. So with me plus you, let's act in unity. The Bible tells us in 1 Peter 4:10, as each has received a gift, use it to serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. Power is a gift. It is not a bad thing. Embrace it. It's a gift that we all have. It's a gift that we get to choose how and whether we're going to use it. And so I'm asking all of us to think about the impact that is needed now in the world today, the impact that's needed now in our society. It requires power. It requires collective power. We have to come together, just like those who came before us and prevailed in the face of, you name it, slavery, in the face of all kinds of horrendous, torturous practices and experiences, in the face of Jim Crow laws, in the face of today even our unfettered violence against Black and brown people. They prevailed. So what are we waiting for? There's no one else out there to do the work. Come on. We are the ones that we've been waiting for. So when I think about some of what we're facing and the work ahead, when we talk about transforming unjust systems, we're transforming them from to something else. It has to be a radical transformation. It has to be. And so transforming is truly to change in composition or structure. This is not just kind of an outward appearance thing. This is literally, you're taking something down to its bones and rebuilding it again. So I'll tell you a story. My dad was trained as a chef. And for those of you who are great cooks, you know that means you're probably going to the grocery store just about every day. And you can never find everything you need in only one grocery store. So we've been, for the time he's been visiting with me, to probably every single store that you can imagine in Greater St. Louis, but I'm not complaining, because I'm eating very well. So I'm not complaining. But on one of these trips, we're coming back from J International Market and probably 2 or 3 other places that we hit on the way coming home, and we were passing the Emcees butterfly house. So, it's one
pointing it out to my dad, and this is kind of one of the local attractions. And invariably, we got into a conversation about caterpillars and butterflies. And we talked about the transformation that a caterpillar brings itself through in order to become a butterfly. So a caterpillar will stop everything it's doing. It will spin a cocoon and encase itself in there, and it literally is digesting, dissolving, and breaking itself down into its most basic component parts to use that to rebuild itself and rebuild all of the organs and the antenna and the wings to form an adult butterfly. Difficult process, I'm sure, very involved, it sounds like, but the caterpillar knows my latter will be greater than my former. So I'm going to subject myself to this transformation because I have to get to a place that I can't get to in the form that I'm in today. Right? If you've ever seen a butterfly fly over large distances and expanses of space, effortlessly, the caterpillar can't do that. Poor caterpillar is huffing and puffing, just from this side of the podium to the next. And so when we talk about transformation, that's how much change is necessary to transform an unjust system into a just system. We have to bring it down to nothingness and build it all the way back up. So while yes, it starts with me, understand that the beloved community mindset means all of us together have to garner and harness our collective power to do this work. Not one of us individually are going to be able to do it. And there are plenty of systems. Take a pick, justice system, the health system, the education system, our economic system, our political system. I mean, it'll keep us all busy for our entire lifetimes, right? And generations and generations to come. So we better get to work now, right? We have a lot of work to do. So we heard some of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King as part of his prolific I Have a Dream speech. When Dr. King spoke that speech, he was declaring a dream and a vision over an entire nation. As a matter of fact, right, in the time in which he did it, because television was a technology that was available, he was declaring over the world, this is the change that must come, that will come. And so as we gather in honor and celebration of Dr. King, honor his life, honor his legacy, let's not be content with coming and enjoying a lovely breakfast and coming and being able to connect with folks that maybe you haven't seen in a while or those you haven't met before. We have assignments that we have to accomplish. Let's be activated to do the work that is still needed. We all have work to do. We are all designed to be able to contribute in some meaningful and specific way. What is your work? What is the part that you are going to play? We all have a role. Spectators are not on the list though. So choose the role of action that you're going to take. Because we're at a point now where we can't afford to coast off of what the generations prior to us have done. They have put us now in a position to be able to propel ourselves from where we find ourselves, to get further than where we ever have been before. And if nothing else, our students that were here from Sumner High School and other young people who are in the room are looking to us for inspiration. They're looking to us for that legacy. They're looking to us to be able to change the arc of history. So it's time for us to now demonstrate, right, this beloved community mindset. It can't just stay up here. It can't just be in here. It has to be all out there. People have to experience who we are and what we're all about. And so, as I close today, I just want to encourage you that the transformation work will be our demonstration. The transformation work will be our legacy. And we cannot, we must not, we shall not leave any of this important and critical work undone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knight, for a powerful and inspiring message. Now, everybody, that was a word. Now, I don't know if y'all ain't really inspired by that. Y'all want to do better than that. That's a clap right there. That was a word. Now, I thought of myself as a butterfly. I like to fly high. But I've transformed multiple times, and I think that's what we all do. So that's a wonderful thing that we as human beings get to do multiple times in our lives, and we do it well. So as we continue to celebrate the service of Dr. Martin Luther King, we are reminded to Dr. King's service to others as well, and direct impact on our lives today, yesterday, and tomorrow. And just as Dr. King had an impact on others at the Gateway YMCA, Region YMCA is having a direct impact on the lives of our children every day. Did you know that drowning is the leading cause of death for children ages 1 to 4, and the second leading cause of death, accidental deaths for that matter, for children ages 5 to 14. And through the YMCA's Safety Around Waters program, in 2022, 4,705 individuals in the St. Louis region were safer around water because of the generosity from our government graduation. So right here at the YMCA, the Bear YMCA, we are having a direct impact in our community by offering discounted $5 lessons to teach children how to swim and how to be safe. Now, when you support our annual campaign, your support directly impacts and helps a child learn how to swim through discounted $5 swimming lessons. So here, again, scan the QR code. Now I'm gonna say this again because I know some of us are like, yeah, no. Scan and the QR code. It is not too late to donate today. So while I'm saying that, let me ask all of our Bear YMCA advisory board to stand and so that we can recognize you all. Can you all please stand right now? Our advisory board. Yeah. So if we want to talk about the line, about Bear line, these are individuals who can converse with about what we do and why it's important for we ask people to donate, because we can't do what we do without their donations. Not only here within the community on the Broadway. All right. So Dr. King stated, whatever affects one directly affects us all indirectly. Okay. So please scan your QR code and donate $5, $10, whatever it is. You help to support our work. So to help to continue the celebration of the life and the legacy of Dr. King, our award recipients, and our community, please enjoy the special presentation by the Youth of the Spirit, Angela West African Dance and Drums.
better. All right. Okay, before we honor our final award recipient, I know that Richard acknowledged this group previously, but again, this group deserves another recognition for all the hard work and effort that has been put into this program today. So again, if you are a member of the Bayer YMCA Board of Advisory, please stand again and give this group a hand of applause for all of the hard work. As well as our director, Colette, and the lady that holds it all together, Ms. Sharon. They all deserve a tremendous round of applause. All right, we thank you so much for your service to the board and our community. Okay, for our final award recipient, in his book, The Strength to Love, Dr. King wrote, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands during challenge and controversy." Our next award recipient embodies the measurement of the kind of man that Dr. King is speaking about. Nathaniel Griffin is a humble Wellston native. He has the heart, passion, resilience, commitment, and a level of interdependence to ensure that Wellston and surrounding cities thrive. Long before taking office, Mayor Griffin was a pillar in the Wellston community while coaching youth sports for 26 years. Griffin made political history in 2014 by becoming the first citywide candidate to be elected to office as a write-in candidate. Wow. He won the election by a landslide and hasn't looked back since. Standing beside him is his beautiful and talented wife, LaWanda, who in her own right is an accomplished business owner. They parent 3 children, Nyshawn, Nathaniel, and Naya, and are grandparents to Brooklyn and Nyshawn. Mayor Griffin serves as the Executive Director of Wellston Community Empowerment Corp, a board member of St. Augustine Wellston Center, founder of the North County Police Co-op, and Executive Director of NPO, True Vision, and now has brought professional basketball and baseball teams to the city. Mayor Griffin's vision can be seen daily in the ongoing progress being made in the city. A new subdivision was completed last year, the first new construction in more than 2 years. In 2018, the Wellston Housing Development was birthed, rehabbing 201 housing units, along with moving into a new city hall. His vision and motto, moving forward, are shared with many community partners and are manifesting as we speak. Mayor Griffin understands that it takes a village, a team, and a family to sustain the community. Ladies and gentlemen, for our final award recipient, please welcome one of the best mayors in St. Louis County and the 2023 YMCA Martin Luther King Jr. Human Dignity Award recipient, Mayor Nathaniel Griffin of Wellston.
Good morning. Worked with me, I coach basketball. I had a championship game last night, so I lost my voice. So I cheated the kids and saved a little voice for you all today. It's truly an honor and a privilege to be here, especially recognized for any type of award. But you guys gave gave me a tough task coming behind President Jim. I said, my past sound like a loser compared to her. Her family had more degrees than I have fingers. It's tremendous. But again, in order to get on this podium, a lot of things had to happen. Okay, my beautiful wife and family, my son, LaShawn Ray Baker, and Luana Ray Baker, my backbone, helping support. I have my city administrator, Ms. Janice Trigg, who's here, who also administrates that. I have my seniors here. Can you raise your hand as always, supporting behind me and everything we do? We have Lisa from Legal Services. Raise your hand back there, Lisa. You're a part of this journey as well. And so all these people is a part of our village. And as we always talk about the village that it takes to build our community. And so we coming from Wellston, coming from a poverty community, the village is everything when you don't have nothing. And so my community voted me to come to be the mayor of this position. They asked me to run. I didn't understand why. They came to me and they had a gathering in the park and said, we need someone to run for the city, to run for our mayor. And I said, well, why you call me here? They said, if we're going to change Wellston, if Wellston is going to be saved, you're going to be the one to do it. You already give it back to the community. You have an education. You have a bachelor's degree. I had 2 kids, and my wife had 2 kids before we saw when we was in high school. So we was counted out. They buried us, but they forgot we was a seed. And so we continue to grow, continue to build our family, continue to lean on our community. And so we was giving back because we knew we had to make a change for our boys and our family. Because again, I didn't have a father figure in my life. My coaches in my community was dead. And so I knew that in order to change the dynamic in my community, I had to do the same thing. And so what we did was, again, I hired attorney Weston Bill, who now hires a prosecutor. Can you please raise your hand, Weston Bill? He was just a little small attorney at the time. He's a really big wig. But we sat down and thought about ways on how to change the community, and I told him, look, I want to make these tremendous changes. And we tried to make tremendous changes, tremendous strides. We're doing tangible things in the community. We had so many intangible things that was broken. Corrupted police department. Okay? And so we had to fix the corrupted police department, which made us start the North County Police Department. With a police department that reflects us and serve the community. Not just arrest and harass, but protect and serve. Get out and know the people. Get out and be in community engagements. Right? And so we formed that police department. And what else? The crime was happening. Everyone knew what was happening. Police, neighbors, everyone knew who done it. No one went to jail. No one. We started with the North County Police Department. We have 95% to all major crime rates. This side of the crime is not only was I a founder of the North County Police Department, I was a founder of the Clergy Coalition. If anyone heard of the Clergy Coalition that's running around St. Louis, I was a founder of the Clergy Coalition. The reason why is because when I was a child, the church was open as a safe haven. It's a place where you can go and get love. You can go and get your mental health. You go around leaders that was in there embracing you or welcoming you in. So I challenged the churches. I got with Pastor Shields and challenged the churches. And now they over 150 leaders and pastors strong. Catholics, Jews, Christians, everyone working together. Muslims, all the leaders working together, putting together aside their religion and seeing how can they serve our communities. Also started the police department. Started a basketball team. Started basketball teams in the footprint. Wasn't any basketball teams in the North County, in the 24-1 area. And so we started that to be able to reach the kids and be able to teach them. And so we have a lot of things that we have worked on. We wasn't having any audits in Wellston. So we made sure we're now being audited on a regular basis to make sure that taxpayer dollars are being spent wisely. But it's a few things and a few words it's 4 words that I think that's really important in building a community. And one is selflessness. When you think about the work that Dr. Dr. King would have stood up and looked at us in our face and said, let's treat everybody equally. He wasn't just about African Americans. He's about humanity. And so he would have looked at us and challenged us as well and made sure that we was able to do something different. And so just being selfless, but being open. You have to be honest. You got to be trustworthy. And sometimes it's hard. But people accept you when you're vulnerable, when they know that you have flaws. Because sometimes we seem to forget that. And what was unique to me is once we built the police department, we had all these great things going on, and we thought we was on the way moving on to great heights in Wellston. We ended up getting a letter saying that they're going to knock the homes down and push everyone out of Wellston. It wasn't going to be no more Wellston. And so my friends came to me and brought this fight to me and said, no more Wellston. We signed a petition. They tricked my seniors. They told me it was about home remodel and they're going to fix their home up. But they signed a petition to tear the home down and push people out. I had to go to Washington, D.C., meet with Donald Trump and Dr. Ben Carson to talk about how we can rehab and remodel the city of Wellston. He said, we'll give you 90 days to do it. I went with Congressman Clay, and Congressman Clay said, can you get this done in 90 days? I whispered to him, give me 120. He said, are you sure? I said, I promise, just trust me, sir. He looked at Dr. Ben Carson and said, give us up 120 days. They gave us 120 days. 120 days, I was able to come up, meet with, or bring all politicians in this area together, including the governor, Senator Holly, Senator Blunt, County Executive Dr. Page, Senator Brian Williams, state reps, community groups, community activists. We all sat at a round table. They said it was the first time this had ever happened. That politicians from the governor all the way down to local mayors sat around a round table to come up with a plan to save one community. And so it was very unique that we had men and women, blacks and whites, leaders of all different avenues coming together to focus on changing Wellston. We came up with that plan in 120 days. 120 days to Washington, D.C. They accepted our plan. We now have a $50 million housing project going on in the city. But acceptance, accept the people for who they are. We like to change people. Don't nobody want to be you. Like you mad because the person walked the way they walk, the way they talk, who cares? That's what makes them them. Allow people to be authentic. That's it. That's where history is changed. That's where you get those diamonds in the rough. Okay, that's where you get that expertise. That's when you get the first African-American prosecutor attorney that wear twisties. We have to allow people to be them. We better be happy as her stock board because he would have dreams. We have a prosecutor with dreams. We in the stock board. But again, it has to be an acceptance, allowing everyone, allowing people to be them. President Gina said something that was very unique at our non-for-profit. It's called True Vision. It's allowing kids to stay true to who they are. We have a basketball team, a basketball organization. It's True Vision, over 15 basketball teams, some ranked across the country. We have so many kids, there's probably kids that's ranked across the country. And True Vision is allowing kids to stay to true who you are. Not who society wants you to be. Not who mom and dad. Mom and dad, sometimes we destroy kids' lives. Because you want them to chase your dream. You messed up, Mama and Dad. Allow me to be me. And so allowing those kids to be authentic and believe in them and let them push their life and their goal and their dream. And let's see how we can enhance that. And so again, True Vision is allowing that. And we have that non-for-profit, and anybody that wants to donate to that non-for-profit, you can talk to me afterwards and I'll tell you how they can have Because again, everything we do is fundraising. And so, also, my last one is security. Our police department, but security of looking at your family, looking at your neighbor, that they believe in you to do the right thing. See, because we all look at each other and hold each other accountable. And making sure that we won't let each other down. Just imagine if one of us in this room decide to make a change on something. We can change the world because each one of us have a platform and a reach and arms that we can reach someone that the others can't. But it's about working together and believing in each other and having the same mission goal. And so the professional basketball team we have is the St. Louis Griffins. Now, I know everyone, last name Griffin, I guess, it's all about you. You just had to name something after you. And like I told you, we had a couple parks, Trojan Park built $20 million park. I could name that after me if it was about a name. But again, me and my wife were talking and was trying to figure out a name that was unique that go along with this team. And when we looked at Adam and me coming from Wellston and being a young lion on the ground, because the myth of a griffin is a lion and an eagle. And me being that young lion on the ground, trying to make a change, moving through a poverty community in the trenches, but trying to take care of my pride, trying to do the right thing by my community. And then they chose me to be a politician, to be the eagle in the sky now, to look down on them, to make sure that the young lions that's down and now on the ground have what they need to take care of their pride. And so that Griffin logo means that. And so when you see the St. Louis Griffins and this basketball team, it's gonna be more than basketball. Because we're gonna expose the entertainment events that's in St. Louis. So again, those young drummers, I want them at games. That's right. If you have a singer, rapper, anybody that have talent, we're gonna expose them. We're gonna have a platform to reach hundreds of thousands that you can't reach. We wanna expose the best in St. Louis. We want to be able to bring people, that families and community together. I love these type of gatherings. This is what community looks like. And we should have more opportunities to bring people together like this. So when you hear about the Griffins basketball team, make sure you come and support. If you don't support, you're going to hear how you missed out. But we're going to have a great time every day. We're going to have parties, community events, bounce houses for kids, pre-game and post-game entertainment. Okay, so if you have a business and you can't get the exposure you need, we can expose it for you. We can put you on a platform that you're not able to be exposed on. So again, it's an honor and a privilege. When I was younger, I loved sports, I loved Mike, but I didn't want to be like Mike. I wanted to be like Martin Luther King. He was able to lead, he was able to bring people together. He was able to bring alpha males and alpha leaders together. And you have to think, when you pass away, you're only a memory. When you leave, your only memory, what you left behind is what you want to get at your funeral. So you only got two people at your funeral. Don't be mad at nobody but yourself. You ain't touched nobody's life. That's all it was. Two people that cried for you. You wasn't giving back. Okay? So, but when you were able to leave 50 years later, and you able to bring people together like this, all across the country, that's what forever young and living forever looks like. And so I want to thank you all for continuing to carry on Dr. Martin Luther King's dream, but even acknowledging and recognizing the work that I'm doing in Wellston. Thank you. All right, that is going to conclude our Martin Luther King Jr. breakfast. So we're going to thank you for allowing us to be your Emcees today.
I'm still trying to catch my breath. I mean, Vernell, that song lifted her voice. Great job. To all of our presenters today, the keynote addresses, we have work to do. We're not done. We've done a lot, we've come a long way, but we still have work to do. But we're not done, we're still not done. So Ms. Sharon, we are gonna welcome here to the stage for a very special closing of today's program. And thank you all again for just being here with us for the 38th annual Martin Luther
and everyone on this program today. Our keynote speaker, wonderful job. Ms. Gina informed us that we have to do the work. Our motto for today was "It starts with me," cultivating a beloved community mindset to transform unjust systems. So I'm going to challenge you with two things today. Let today's program resonate with you as you go out to your various communities. Spread the joy and love that we had today in this room, not just today, but throughout the year. The second challenge is to commit to being a change agent. Again, each one of us, everyone has come up and said the change starts with you, and we have to spread it out. So with that being said, as we come to conclusion, we're going to ask Mr. Burnell Wallet to come back up, and he is going to lead us, and we shall overcome. Thank you all for coming here and making this program special.
Just want to say, allow the change to start with you. There's a quote that says, one day or day one, you decide. And so make this day the day that you decide to allow the change to happen. And allow this song to continue to resonate in your life, and we shall overcome.
We shall home.